When Homo habilis emerged around 2.4 million years ago, the world wasn't waiting with open arms. It was baring its teeth. Picture this: an awkward biped with a brain barely larger than a chimp's, armed with nothing but curiosity and a few sharp stones, trying to survive in a savannah crawling with lions, saber-toothed cats, and giant hyenas. They weren't apex predators. They weren't even contenders. They were, in many ways, the bottom rung of the food chain, flesh on legs. The moment they left the safety of trees, they entered a deadly game. Every waterhole, every open clearing was a potential trap. Death didn't come with drama. It came with a sudden lunge, a flash of teeth, or a snake in the grass. Infant mortality? Likely astronomical. Most wouldn't live to see 20. It wasn't a story of early triumph. It was a species running on desperation. And yet, amid the fear and flight, they were trying something revolutionary. Standing up, holding tools, pushing the boundaries of what it meant to be human. Just before the world tried to crush them for it. Here's the strange twist. Intelligence, that shining beacon of human evolution, may have been Homo habilis's biggest liability. Their brains were growing, modestly yes, but significantly compared to earlier hominins. And brains are greedy. They consume a shocking 20% of the body's energy in modern humans. For Homo habilis, this meant they had to eat more often. In a landscape where food was elusive and predators were everywhere. Hunting? Not really. They weren't fast or strong enough. Scavenging? Risky business, especially when every carcass was already claimed by something meaner with sharper teeth. So they made do, gnawing on bones, cracking them open for marrow, maybe snatching leftovers when no one was looking. But with every calorie burned in thought, their survival window narrowed. You could say they were caught in an evolutionary catch-22, just smart enough to understand their vulnerability, but not yet smart enough to escape it. And the cruelest irony? That extra brainpower didn't save them. It may have starved them. Ah yes, the tools, those humble flakes of stone that earned Homo habilis the title handyman. For decades, these chipped rocks were celebrated as humanity's first big leap forward. But let's pull back the curtain a bit. These tools were crude, loud, and frankly, dangerous. To make them, Homo habilis had to strike rocks together, clack, 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 a sound that echoed across the savannah like a dinner bell. Predators didn't need an invitation. Lions, giant hyenas, even birds of prey would have heard those sounds and zeroed in. And when a Homo habilis actually managed to scavenge some meat and slice it up, the scent carried for miles. Worse yet, the tools were sometimes stolen by rival bands, yes, but also by opportunistic animals. One fossil site even shows bones with cut marks, then deep tooth gouges over the same wounds, as if a predator had quite literally snatched the kill, tools and all, from a dying hand. So, while tools were a leap forward, they also made Homo habilis louder, more exposed, and tragically, easier to find. If daytime was dangerous, nightfall was pure terror. Unlike some later hominins, Homo habilis hadn't yet mastered fire, or even rudimentary shelter. No flames to keep predators at bay. No flickering warmth to huddle around. Just darkness. And in the African night, darkness meant death. You see, Homo habilis had poor night vision, about as bad as ours, while their predators saw in near-perfect black and white. Picture a group of them crouched in tall grass, silent, trembling, clutching stones like charms, hoping nothing smelled them. Hyenas, leopards, and saber-toothed cats all hunted after sunset. For Homo habilis, sleeping meant vulnerability, and sleeping in trees wasn't always an option anymore, not when they'd begun adapting to life on the ground. It's no wonder that many fossil sites show trauma to the skull and limbs, as if their final moments were spent trying to fight something much bigger and much faster. Without fire, they had no safety after dusk. Night didn't just fall, it swallowed them whole. Here's where things get especially grim. Among the shattered bones and scattered tools left behind by Homo habilis, researchers have found something chilling. Cut marks on Homo habilis bones themselves. Some of these match the patterns seen on animal remains, suggesting butchery. Was it ritual, desperation, accidental? We may never know. But one thing's clear. In a world where starvation hovered like a vulture, the line between food and fellow wasn't always firm. It's possible some ate the dead to survive. Others may have hastened the process. Evidence even hints that young individuals, smaller, more vulnerable, bore the brunt. It's a horrifying thought, but not unique in nature. Other primates have displayed similar behavior under stress. Still, it paints a haunting picture. A species pushed so far into a corner that survival might have meant betraying the very bonds of kinship. And the cruelest part, even that may not have been enough to save them. Cannibalism wasn't a path to power. It was a symptom of a species on the brink. As if the predators weren't enough, Homo habilis had another problem: competition. And it came from family. Enter Homo erectus, taller, stronger, and better adapted. They could run farther, make more advanced tools, and, crucially, they learned to control fire. Compared to them, Homo habilis looked like yesterday's prototype. Fossil layers even show the two overlapping for a time, sometimes in the same regions. Imagine the pressure, being chased by lions from one side, and your evolutionary successors from the other. Homo erectus likely outcompeted them for food, space, and safety. And here's the kicker. Some of the same tool sites once thought to belong to Homo habilis might actually have been misattributed, built by their smarter cousins. It's as if their legacy is being slowly overwritten, even in death. The savannah was changing, and Homo habilis couldn't keep up. They weren't just being hunted by beasts, they were being out-evolved in real time. Extinction didn't come as a dramatic collapse. It came as a quiet fade into irrelevance. By around 1.5 million years ago, Homo habilis was gone, disappeared into the dust of prehistory. No grand farewell, no last stand, just absence. But traces of them linger. Their tools, simple, sharp, desperate, still litter ancient riverbeds. Their bones, broken and weathered, still whisper of struggle. They may not have left behind art or fire, but they gave us something far more foundational. The idea that hands and minds, even imperfect ones, could shape the world. In many ways, Homo habilis was the first spark. Not the blaze, but the flicker. Their life was brief, their fate tragic, but their existence cracked open the door for what would come next. Every time we wield a tool, build a shelter, or gaze at a night sky without fear of what lurks in the dark, we walk a little further from the shadow they lived in. Their story isn't one of triumph, but of beginning. And beginnings matter. Because without them, there is no us. Ultimately, the arrival of humans marked the end of an era for these magnificent isolated ecosystems. A world of giant, often flightless creatures and fragile biodiversity, unprepared for sudden change, faded into memory, leaving behind traces in bone, myth, and cautionary echoes about the power of our presence. If that glimpse into our unlucky ancestors' world sparked your curiosity, stick around. Our next deep dive explores the bizarre giants of Madagascar and the mystery of their sudden disappearance. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and journey deeper with us into the forgotten corners of the human timeline.